To lose someone you care about is one of the most difficult things that anyone can experience. But when the person was intricately part of the tapestry of your daily life, somebody you raised, took care of, and loved like your child, the hurt cuts even deeper. Christine Brown is currently experiencing that agony. In March of 2024, she experienced the sudden and heartbreaking loss of her stepson, Garrison Brown. A loss that hit not only her, but all those who knew him. While Christine was not the biological mother of Garrison, there was no denying the connection they shared. She had been a constant, loving figure in his life, filling in where his birth mother, Janelle, was busy with work and personal commitments. Christine provided Garrison with all the love and care a mother could give, never once thinking of him as anything other than her own. That's what makes his death so heartbreaking. She didn't lose a stepson. She lost someone she really thought of as her child. While she mourns this huge loss, Christine has another emotional conflict to contend with, one that only serves to add to her sorrow. The Brown household, already strained and divided, now appears more broken than ever. The gulf between Kody and Robyn on one hand, and Christine, Janelle and Mary on the other, has grown wider. And at a time when family cohesion should be most important, that chasm is exacerbating all the problems. Christine's anguish is not occurring in a vacuum. It's occurring amidst a family that cannot seem to get along. Kody and Robyn's conduct, their refusal to face painful realities, their emotional detachment, and their silence have caused serious consternation among those who've been following this family's saga. Many are questioning their allegiance and wondering why they can look away while someone they once referred to as family hurts so profoundly. Christine Brown has always been the rock of the Brown family, tough, reliable, and steadfastly generous. But this year challenged her more than anyone could have anticipated. Losing Garrison was not merely a family tragedy, it was a devastating reminder that life and family is so terribly vulnerable. And while Christine grieves, she must also confront the harsh reality that the individuals she once relied on are gone and no longer support her as she needs them most. For anyone who has been along for the ride of the Sister Wives saga all these years, this moment is more than another installment in the book. It's a turning point, a one marked by sorrow, unfinished business, and the brutal reality that sometimes even those families formed on promises and shared lives can fracture when they are needed most. Christine might not have been Garrison's biological mother, but that didn't prevent her from being there for him when he most needed a mother. From the earliest years of his life, Christine played a mothering role, filling in with guidance, love and care, particularly during the periods when Janelle, his biological mother, was occupied working and juggling other responsibilities. Christine filled a gap, all right. She became a constant, a steady presence who welcomed Garrison into her life with the same kind of unconditional love only a mother can give. Garrison was never merely a stepson to Christine. He was a deeply cherished part of her universe, someone who occupied a special place in her heart. Their relationship was founded on moments shared, trust between them, and unconditional love. A bond that wasn't based on biology at all, yet completely based on love. Sister Wives fans could recognize their bond easily, whether in the subtle, day-to-day moments on television or in the tender ways Christine demonstrated her love for him. It wasn't roles or titles. It was one of a relationship based on sincere maternal love. That's why Garrison's untimely and shocking death was so heartbreaking. That news struck Christine like a wave of grief that couldn't be suppressed. And fans everywhere experienced that pain with her. Seeing Christine grieve over this loss was heartbreaking. She wasn't just grieving, it was palpable. And whoever has lost a child, a sibling, or a close friend knew that deep hurt in the heart. Christine did not camouflage her hurt. She preferred to air her sorrow before the world and let others accompany her on the mourning path. One of the most touching moments was on Memorial Day, when she honored Garrison in a manner that was as lovely as it was poignant. On Facebook, Christine shared an emotional series of pictures of Garrison over the years. Pics that were alive with life, with mischief, with tenderness, and with vulnerability. These were not mere photographs, they were glimpses into the heart of a boy who had grown up in front of the eyes of his fans. Alongside the pictures was a poignant message from Christine, words that flowed directly from the depths of her shattered heart. She thought about the connection they had shared and broke open about the crushing grief of losing him so unexpectedly. It was a raw, open cry of sadness, and an unbreakable testament to the love she bore for him. For Christine, Garrison wasn't just one of the Brown children, he was her child, and his loss left a silence that no other could ever occupy. The fans returned the support, filling up her tribute page with words of encouragement, condolence, and understanding. The comment sections were turned into a mourning space, where individuals from around the globe went to pay their respects. So many others saw themselves in Christine's words, whether they had lost a son, a sibling, a friend, or just realized the magnitude of her love. Her entry became more than a tribute. It became a collective moment of healing, of connection, of oneness in grief. Christine's memorial turned into a shared grief, not only hers, but for the thousands of viewers who had invested in the Brown family's story over the years. It was a stark reminder of what really matters to many of them. It wasn't the drama of the family, the bitter feuds between the wives, or the intricacies viewers had witnessed season after season. It was about something more, about raw grief and pure, unselfish love Christine bore for Garrison. Her message wasn't merely a public goodbye, it was an intimate act, a gesture of respect for the life of a person who had touched her world so deeply. That moment resonated. What she said and shared in photographs had weight that anyone who has loved and lost could recognize. For some long-term viewers, that instant broke the screen. It was real, human, and achingly familiar. In a family narrative so frequently characterized by tearful distance and broken relationships, Christine's sorrow pierced through all the chatter, laying bare the essence of what Sister Wives was supposed to be about all along: family, love, and loss. For those of you who have been watching the Brown family go through all their ups and downs, this moment probably resonated with you. It recalled us all that even as a family is coming apart at the seams, love remains the glue that keeps it together, and loss is what makes that fact come into clear relief. As Christine spread her heart around the world, the rest of the family went in another direction. Kody and Robyn, in addition, have been at the center of escalating tensions in recent years, and the way they've acted in the reunion shows has made it increasingly difficult to avoid the emotional distance. Their actions set against the openness expressed by Christine, Janelle, and Mary have become stark and painful to watch. Let's begin with Kody. Once the family's guiding light, his attitude has changed dramatically. Over time, he's become more emotionally removed and more defensive. At the reunion, he appeared detached and unwilling to discuss the hard, honest questions that had been piling up around him. Audiences witnessed a man who seemed to be actively withdrawing from responsibility, a man who assisted in constructing this family institution but now does not want to accept the role he played in its disintegration. And then there's Robyn. Her relationship with the other wives has always been complicated, but in more recent shows, her unwillingness to face reality has been even more apparent. When clips from previous seasons were shown again at the reunion, particularly times when Kody made promises or declarations that now seem empty, Robyn looked visibly embarrassed, but still refused to accept the emotional significance of those situations. This avoidance on the part of Kody and Robyn was in direct contrast to the blunt candor expressed by Christine and the others. While some are attempting to mend and work through the cracks in their family, others are happy to pretend those cracks don't exist. Whenever old clips were mentioned, specifically those where Kody had contradicted himself or promised things he did not fulfill, Robyn was quick to cut the conversation short. She clearly did not wish to visit those memories, particularly the ones that revealed the cracks in the foundation of the family. She was clearly uncomfortable. She bristled when asked how relationships between Kody and the other wives had changed over the years. It was like she wanted to delete those moments completely, as if they had never happened. But how can anyone possibly get on from there if they won't confront the fact that something did go wrong? Robyn's refusal to accept the tough reality only made things worse. It wasn't silence, it was more like rewriting history. That was a strategy that didn't play with the audience or with the other wives. It seemed insincere, and in a family that has been exposed for all to see, honesty is more important than ever. In stark contrast, Christine, Janelle, and Mary preferred to attack it all head-on. These three women, each bearing her own scars and past, did not stoop to polite smile or scripted lines. They were honest, raw, and unflinching. Christine, in particular, was remarkable in her honesty. Having been through so much with Kody throughout the years, she finally seemed to be ready to say anything she wanted, without fear, without reservation. It was gut-wrenching and compelling, and fans overwhelmingly admired her for it. What was so engaging about their openness was that it was sincere. They didn't attempt to appear perfect or sweep the past under the rug. They bared their pain, confusion, and disappointment with strength and vulnerability. The reunion shows, for the first time in a long time, felt like they were piercing through the clutter to reach the emotional reality. And in so doing, Christine, Janelle, and Mary taught everyone who was watching that true healing only starts when you cease to hide. This dramatic difference between the emotional authenticity of the three wives and the evasive dodges of Kody and Robyn was indefinable tension. Viewers could sense it. They were angry, and deservedly so. The public desired openness, responsibility, and explanations. But what they got from Kody and Robyn was dodging and deflecting. The couple seemed to think that if they did not discuss the past would evaporate. But fans of Sister Wives know the truth. They've been following this saga for years and can recognize deception when they see it. The stonewalling did not deter them, it only increased their disillusionment. Fans went to social media in droves expressing outrage and demanding that Kody and Robyn come out from behind their silence and take responsibility for their role in how the family dissolved. As the reunion episodes rolled out, something changed in the Sister Wives fanbase. Social media erupted with fiery responses. Fans were no longer merely viewing the show, they were requiring responsibility. Kody and Robyn were specifically at the epicenter of the outrage. Audiences inundated sites like Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit, berating the couple for what they perceived as a glaring failure to engage sincerely during the reunion. They weren't simply disappointed, they were outraged. The frustration came from a sense of complete disconnect. These were two individuals who had played a huge part in the family's demise, and yet seemed not to want to do any reflection on their part or take any share of the responsibility. It wasn't easy for audiences to swallow. Where Christine, Janelle, and Mary shared and handled their pain in a direct way, Kody and Robyn refused to answer every tough question. And no one was having it. This was not about drama. It was about honesty, fairness, and emotional truth. Audiences demanded transparency. They demanded to hear honest answers, not sidesteps. They demanded to know why, after all the family had been through, Kody and Robyn still could not be as vulnerable as the rest of them. What they got was perceived as calculated evasion, and it made the audience angry. What made the backlash so much more vitriolic, though, was the fact that Kody and Robyn were still being compensated for appearing on the reunion shows. To many, that seemed utterly unfair. If they weren't going to appear emotionally, if they weren't going to confront the reality of their part in the breakdown of the family, then why were they getting paid like everybody else who did? There were even some supporters who went as far as to question the integrity of the production team itself, wondering how it could keep silent and allow such blatant evasion to happen. The demands for responsibility weren't silent murmurs in the comments, they were boisterous, ubiquitous, and relentless. The fans were basically saying, enough is enough. If you're going to be on a reality show based on emotional vulnerability and complicated relationships, then you can't selectively appear. You don't get to disappear when things get tough and still receive the privilege. So I want to hear your thoughts now. What do you think? Were you as fed up as the rest of us with Kody and Robyn's actions on Reunion? Should they have been more forthcoming, or do you think there is something more going on behind the scenes that we don't know about? Leave your comments below, because this discussion is by no means finished, and I have a feeling you guys have opinions. You never get over losing someone you love, but if that person is so entrenched in the very fabric of your existence, someone you loved like family, like your own child, the hurt can be truly devastating. That's what Christine Brown is experiencing today. In March 2024, she lost a parent or step-parent or loved one no one should ever have to endure: the fatal death of Garrison Brown, her stepson. Although Christine wasn't actually Garrison's biological mother, their bond was unquestionable. She was always there for him in the times that really mattered. When his mum Janelle was busy at work or otherwise occupied with other demands on her time, Christine filled in without demur. Her affection for Garrison wasn't about obligation, it was profound, maternal, and unwavering. But then here's where it gets all the more heartbreaking. While Christine grieves for the loss of someone she loved like a son, the remainder of the Brown family appears to be disintegrating around her. The continued animosities between Kody and Robyn on one side and Christine, Janelle, and Mary on the other are only weighing down Christine's bereavement. When cohesion and solidarity are most required, division and silence are vying for dominance. Welcome back to Sister Wives Underground. I'm Manisa, and today we're exploring Christine's inner world following Garrison's death and the family drama that's breaking out right along with her heartbreak. This isn't drama. It's genuine, unfiltered grief unfolding before the eyes of millions. So sit back and buckle up, because we have to discuss what's really going on behind the scenes. Christine's affection for Garrison was not performative. It was there in every moment shared by them, both on screen and behind the scenes in stories she's shared with fans. She wasn't merely his stepmom, she was his refuge. That's why the news of his death came as a shock that swept over not only Christine, but viewers worldwide. We felt it along with her, because this kind of grief, the kind born of genuine love, is for all of us. The most moving moment came when Christine commemorated Garrison on Memorial Day. She posted a moving social media post with pictures and remembrances, celebrating his life and mourning his passing. It was more than a tribute, it was a mother's way of saying he counted, and she wanted the world to know. Fans' reaction came pouring in. It was filled with love, sympathy, and communal grief. People related to her pain on a very personal level. They did not see merely a reality TV star, they saw a mother, a woman mourning the death of a boy she loved more than life itself. And in that grieving, Christine transformed mourning into memory, making sure that Garrison would never be forgotten. But whereas Christine mourned openly, the same could not be said about all. Kody and Robyn's actions during the reunion series of Sister Wives brought out an entirely different emotional response, one of anger. Their dodging, their denial of blame in the collapse of the family left many viewers in shock.